Hey everyone, Robert Nixon here with Robert Nixon Real Estate and Karl Ebdrup of Steve Marshall Ford. Did I say your name right there?
You sure did. Yeah,
Really?
you're probably one of the only ones.
It's actually the first time we met too, so I didn't even review that with him if I had it right. But do you want to introduce yourself?
Karl Ebdrup with Steve Marshall Ford Auto Group. Camel River kid from way back. I don't know what else to say.
Cool. We're gonna ask him a few questions, and I think it'll be an interesting one. He'll probably have some value to provide for us all. So I guess the first thing is he's the general manager and business partner at Steve Marshall Ford. How long have you been with Steve Marshall Ford?
I've been in Campbell River for 2004, so 15 years is when I came back to Campbell River.
So you left, where'd you go?
When I left town and went to Ontario, I followed a girl there for a while. And then I was in Vancouver for a while. And then came back to the island. Before Campbell River, I was with Steve Marshall Ford in Nanaimo for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's where I bought my truck.
Nanaimo?
Yeah.
You don't shop local?
I don't know why back. I don't remember back then.
Take an ugly turn.
I think it was just I don't know. It was a long time ago now, but I think it was just what they had. I liked what they had more.
But you learned your lesson, and now you shop
learned my
local?
lesson. Yeah, now I shop local.
That's good to hear.
Try to.
That's good to hear.
Same difference, though, right?
Well, yes and no.
Marshall.
That's a tough one. It is. Yes.
I could have went. What's the one in Courtney? I could have went there, but
could have went Victoria. But why stop there, right? Why not the U.S.
Vancouver? Yeah, I don't know. And then to save $1,000 and spend $10,000 on traveling,
right? If that.
My next one I'll buy here, but it'll be a while. I don't think it's tough buying new vehicles. I don't know, but same with new houses.
What are you driving now?
New houses, right? 2012 F-150.
Okay,
it's not bad. Warranty's almost up.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now that I dug a hole. So what did you do before becoming a business partner? You said you were at the old Steve Marshall Ford in Nanaimo.
Yeah. Before that, I was with the company called Cam Clark Ford in Langley, and before that, I was with Toyota. So I've been in the car business for
since you were pretty young,
25 years.
And you mentioned briefly you're in real estate when you were younger.
Yeah, 19 years old. I thought, what's the best thing? I knew I wanted to sell. I knew I was going to be a sales guy, but I'm like, what's the biggest commission you can make? So I thought, I'll sell houses. And that was the worst decision of my life. I wasn't mature enough for that. Like, it was just, I was 19 years old. You think you got the world by the short and curlies, but I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. I don't think I did when I started either, but I think you're right about the maturity thing is people don't get into it until they're a little bit older.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, I really big into skiing, and I think the first year of real estate, I think I skied like 75 days that winter. Just didn't have any inkling to work, so.
Nice. Yeah, it's a self-motivated business.
It sure is, yeah. Hard to do at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I went from heavy-duty mechanic to real estate, so.
Oh, okay.
Big jump there for me. I was never really in business, right? So it's a big learning curve.
Yeah.
Are there any other businesses you've owned or currently own before this, or?
Just car business stuff. I'm partners with Steve and a couple other guys in other dealerships. So we have the Nissan store here in town.
Oh yeah, okay. Cool.
Ben Coyle and I have that, and Steve were also involved in that Island Owl.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Aaron Welsh and I and Steve are also involved in that Pacific Nation. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
We got a few other irons in the fire. We also have a business partner in Vancouver, a place called Titanium Auto Sales. So. Yeah, we got a few things going on.
So I interviewed Ben, of course. Did you see that one ever?
I did, yeah.
And then I just met Aaron Walsh the other night, and he wants me to interview him. So I think we're doing him June 6th.
Oh, right on.
So it's good when they ask you, right?
Yeah, no, that's good. Right on.
Anything you wish you had known before starting out in sales, I guess, or in business management, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the business landscape has changed so much. I wish I was a little more on social media when that first hit. I don't think I recognized the value in it.
When do you think that was?
Well, I'm still learning. I see
always.
what guys like Ben Coyle do with social media, and I just think he's on my team because, it's just.
Well, he sort of promotes you guys in a way as well.
Oh, for
right?
sure, but he's just so good at it. He's probably the last guy you want to go for dinner with because he's on his phone 24/7. But he's making relationships with people at a level that's just unheard of. So. Yeah, I think I wish if I could have done anything different, it'd be more on top of that when it first kind of immersed and came out. So
interesting. Do you guys do a lot of social media? I've shared a few posts. Do you guys have someone?
We're trying. Like I said, we took a big page out of Ben's book. He does a ton of stuff, and we're trying here at Ford to do more. And same at Nissan.
And you have someone designated working on that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, for cool. Sure. And
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of passion that has to go into it. So if you get the right person, it's great. But if you don't have the right person, it's tough because it's just going through the motions, and it feels like people can feel that coming across. They see that it's just a post and it means nothing. And
Yeah, for sure.
so-
And the live stuff, like the band does a lot of live stuff, so it's kind of. I started in Bomb again, which is like video emails.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more like you're almost being face to face, like in sales.
Right.
You got to get face to face, right? So
then they can feel your culture coming through, and they can feel who you are. And
yeah,
it's
build a
not an
rapport
email.
or whatever. Yeah. So I've
absolutely.
been trying to do more of that, and my biggest source of sales last year was through social media directly.
Oh, it was, eh?
Yeah, like directly all of it. So
Yeah. Well, we
we'll
track.
see where that's
It's funny
this
in
year.
the car business. We track all our lead sources. Like you get from our website or other websites or
Yeah.
Auto Trader or whatever. And hands down, we get more notifications from Facebook Messenger than almost anything
Really?
else. I mean, our website is still probably the most leads we
So
get.
do they turn to direct sales? It's the highest too, or no?
Sorry?
Like notifications? Or do you get direct sales out of
Yeah,
that?
so we just get a conversation going just on
right.
Facebook Messenger.
And you track on which ones close and stuff, and
Yeah. So the
monitor where you should spend your money, obviously based on where you're getting the business. I mean,
and that's
important.
also funny because and again, I'm not a social media guy, but
Yeah.
what we're finding is that when you don't spend money on Facebook and it's organic, that gets you the biggest play. When you
Well,
spend money
yeah,
on
for
boosting
sure.
and spend money on like display ads, that doesn't seem to get you anything.
Yeah.
So it's got to be organic. It's got to be your culture coming through. People got to get to know you that
Sincere.
way.
But I mean, yeah, spending money or time. I mean, even this could be considered money because it's time, right? So
True
it's
enough.
not spending
Yeah,
physical
true enough.
money, but you are spending your time and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, being a person is huge for sure. So what makes you passionate about what you do? Backtracking a little bit, what exactly do you do here?
I'd like to say I'm in the car business, but I feel like I look at financial statements all day long.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's been my existence for the last 4 or 5 years. Is mostly just managing the business,
Crunching
from
numbers.
the numbers. My favorite thing about our business is kind of exacting change with sales guys or managers and getting them to a level that even they thought they couldn't be to, whether it's sales or whether whatever it is, leading other people.
So almost coaching them. So.
Coaching them, yeah. So I have a real, I don't know if I have a knack for it, but I have a passion for it. I love trying to push the guys to a level that they probably don't think they can get to.
Yeah, that's important, I think, for sure. If they have that in a business and it's offered, for free or as part of the business, that's great.
Yeah.
I have a coach and stuff, right? And it's helped me.
Now, if you ask them, maybe it's not as as good as maybe
they
I
might
think
not
it
like
is.
it. They might see you're cracking the whip. I
They
talked
might,
to what's his name at the gym, and I saw him. I got my truck washed one day and saw him. My age, blondish hair.
That works for us?
Yeah, he's a newer sales guy. How's his name?
Steven.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Steve. Yeah, he's a nice guy. So
Super nice
He had all
guy.
good things to say, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. It's still early.
Yeah, it's still early. It might change. So that being said, what makes you passionate about it?
Honestly, just getting guys to a different level. Like
Yeah,
they
that
think that they think they can sell whatever 7, 8, 9 cars a month, and we push them and
Yeah.
in a fun way and entice them with bonuses and spiffs and training and mentoring and getting them to a level where they're selling 14 or 15 cars a month.
Yeah, so that helping
Yeah.
people. Is there anything that you failed at during your career and that you would do differently now?
Oh yeah,
looking back.
it's funny.
That
I'm
was
also a new dad. Like I've got a couple
Okay.
kids that are 16 to 17 years old. I also got a 2.5-year-old. So I can relate it back to being a new father and having more patience now than I did with my first 2 kids.
Right, for sure.
And the more patience I have now with sales guys and customers versus maybe 15 years ago. I lost some big clients and I lost some good people because I was so, aggressive and forceful and trying to make things happen that I blew out some good people and I blew off some good customers that have never been back. So my biggest learning is probably not being right and listening to the consumer because there was some big mistakes.
That's a tough one,
Yeah.
for sure. And you probably wouldn't be where you are now maybe without making those mistakes. So
Probably. You know what? You're right. And I wouldn't have that patience now because I recognize those being mistakes.
yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's your biggest accomplishment in your career, and have you reached your biggest so what is your biggest accomplishment so far, and do you think you've reached that level of what you want to accomplish as your biggest accomplishment?
I don't really have too many milestones. I'm pretty proud of the fact that we continually win customer service awards through Ford.
Yeah, cool.
We're ranked number 1 or number 2 in BC for customer service, both sales side and parts and service. And we win that. And I don't want to take anything away from the people who do the hard work, but we win that award almost every year. So that's probably one of my most crowning moments is always being able to say that our customers rate us as number 1 or 2 in BC.
Yeah, that's good for sure.
Pretty
Cool.
happy about that.
Gotta do those surveys and those. I mean, feedback's huge. I'm trying to get more Google reviews and stuff. And
It's not easy, is
Facebook
it?
reviews. And,
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's part of the reason I went back to video, so I can send video and say, hey, click on this link and you review me after.
Right.
Like Ben does it, right? And he just asks if there's anything you can do to change your experience if you weren't.
I think that guy's got probably the most responses on Google reviews, and I think he's an absolute 5-star. I don't think he's had one bad review, that guy.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
Unreal.
And he always tries to fix it. Well, that's his thing. What can we do to fix it to make it 5 stars if it wasn't?
That's right.
So I don't know if he ever has that, but that's his job or his intent is to fix it.
For sure,
is a bad one.
Yeah.
So your favorite memory of your career?
Oh my gosh, favorite memory.
Cutting the ribbon for this place or something?
You know, I will say that cutting the ribbon for this place was exciting. Not so much for me, but more for Steve. Like, that guy's been such a mentor to me and has done so much for me, that to see a guy who's been in business for 53 or 54 years in the same location open up a new facility like this was huge. So I think that would have to be one of my most proudest moments. And it was watching him do that, yeah.
Is he still active in the business a lot?
Yeah,
or?
He's actually away on a Ford trip right now, but he comes in every day.
Really?
We're in his office right now.
Okay, this is his office.
This is his office.
Don't touch anything. Don't leave any fingerprints.
No, he comes in every day. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Into this office then.
So he
is in Kamel River.
Yeah, he lives here. And he comes in every day.
Awesome. So he's a go-getter because he must be getting up there.
75 years old.
Yeah,
I think
crazy.
74.
Likes to stay busy.
You wouldn't think that if you met him though.
No,
you wouldn't. He's super young.
I saw him. I've never met him, but I saw him get on stage last year at the Chamber Awards. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it last year or year before?
Year before.
Yeah. That was cool, though.
Yeah.
I'd never been to one. It was interesting. We never went this year. Is there any profession besides this one that you currently, or that you're currently in that you would like to attempt? So is there anything after this that you'd like to attempt, or maybe a place you want to go within this? You don't sound like a guy that's leaving or anything. But
no, I'm not. I'm entrenched in this industry. Yeah. I love it. I couldn't even imagine what I'd be doing if I wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
There's nothing really else that I need to try. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Not going to go back to real estate?
I tell you, if there was another job I would ever do, I could see myself tending bar just because it's so much fun.
Yeah, exciting.
But I don't know. I don't know if I would ever make it in that.
That'd be a lifestyle change for sure.
High stress environment. So,
so for the car business, how much do you feel it has changed in the last 10 years? You already briefly touched on that, but of course, marketing, social media.
Social media in the last 10 years has been huge, but in the last 2 years, there's a real big concern in our industry about the manufacturer and if they're going to start selling direct to the consumer, because right now all manufacturers sell through a dealer network.
Yeah.
And some of the manufacturers now are testing the waters about selling directly to a consumer. So there's a lot of dealers that are concerned about what the future looks like for us, because if you get rid of the dealer network, then we cease to exist. So there's a big concern in our industry about what that looks like going forward. And then the other side of that coin is, are cars going to be even a thing in the future? Electric is becoming
there's not a lot of maintenance and
no
stuff.
Maintenance there. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts right now about guys, and some of my good friends are in a situation where they're actually selling off their dealerships because they don't know that the same model is going to be around.
Looking 10, 20, 30 years ahead or whatever, however far, 5 years even.
I don't necessarily completely agree with that, but there is a concern. We're one of the only industries in the world that still takes trade-ins. You can't trade in a computer. You don't trade in toasters.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're one of the only places in the world that you can still bring your old car in to get a new car. And that, well, first of all, there's a bunch of work that has to go into that, because, customers who are trading in used vehicles are very attached to those used vehicles and don't really understand it's a marketable item. It's an asset. The value of it is the value.
Kind of like a house.
Well, to them it's worth more, right? So having that conversation. So I think as long as you can still attract people to trade their car in and resell that car, I think we'll be around for a long time.
Because you have to get at a good enough value to make a profit selling it too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, price is everything too, and that's with houses. I mean, it's really hard to teach people that, I know it's your house and you're attached to it, but we have to look at what else is being sold in the market and what
Yeah.
the value is, right? And that's a really tough conversation to have.
It is.
I'm getting better at it, but it's never easy.
Well, it is tough, but if you try and get the ego out of the way and make it about that, that asset or whatever it is,
the bottom line, yeah.
it has to be, this is what a 3-bedroom, 1,250 square foot rancher goes for. Why would yours be worth any more?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's an interesting one, yeah, because I mean, it's kind of like losing the dealer. Having a dealer sell direct, I guess, is kind of like us dealing with, say, a for sale by owner. So we have, or Zillow or something that's starting to come in, or red deal or whatever, red flag, green ship, whatever. There's a bunch of them.
But those
Purple
things
bricks
have,
one.
Those things have come and gone too. Like
they
I remember
have.
there was the 1% guys that came in, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're still around, but I remember that.
A little bit.
So there is all of that stuff in our business as well.
Yeah.
It's not easy to look at and think.
Do you have that now then, or not yet? It's just
well, as an example, Tesla is one of the first to
they
sell
direct.
They sell direct to the consumer. So
Right.
everyone's looking at that and going,
Yeah,
well,
it's a big
they
market
can do it.
too,
Ford's
yeah.
looking at it, well, if he can do it, we can do it. And
Yeah.
so
that's where
So
for
we'll
us
see.
we have to show more value than them and have a reason for people to come to us. And I mean, overall, we make more money for people than the other options. So that is a reason to come to us. It'd be a little different with you guys, but having to
well, a
show
little
value.
bit, not a lot. I mean, there's a value in what you guys do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of legalities that you glance right over when you're with a realtor that if you were selling it privately could become a rat's nest.
Oh yeah, it can quickly for
Yeah.
sure. And then for you guys, maybe that's where you come in if they start doing that. You're the ones that's negotiating with the fact you're working for the client now more than selling for yourself like we do, right?
In our industry, we're almost getting to a one pricing policy anyway, so negotiating almost becomes a non-issue. Now it's the margins are so small and the discounts are there from the manufacturer.
Right.
So for our job, the negotiations are almost done.
But if they're selling direct, you think they'd probably be trying to?
So if they sell direct, then the only real concern there is what do we do with our old car,
Yeah,
right? Because Ford Motor Company isn't going to take a trade-in. Right?
Yeah, and
Tesla
then there's
doesn't take trade-ins.
no.
So there is that piece of the pie. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be interesting.
yeah.
Cool. What's next one here? So that's a lot of change for you guys. I was thinking it was gonna be more social media and stuff, but so what are your long-term goals?
Long-term goals, keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Work around any changes.
Yeah, we have, over the years, we've got a handful of really good middle management people that want to grow and do their own thing as well. So if there was another opportunity where another franchise came available locally,
Right.
we'd probably look at putting one of our managers in that store and partner.
So like a franchise being another Ford
or another Ford,
just another
or,
dealership.
Another dealership, maybe Courtney or whatever.
Yeah.
Another dealership came available. We have some management guys in our group that would want to
Take that on.
Take that on. So
Yeah.
I'd love to help those guys grow and continue to do what we do.
Yeah, it comes back around. And Steve, with you guys, and Steve was a big help with getting some of you guys. Like, I don't know about you in general, but he wanted you guys to help and become a part of it.
He's been amazing,
Yeah.
and when a guy wants to grow and do more, he's the first guy to put his hand up and say, "Let me help you."
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
I mean,
If you're willing to do the work.
well, and that's the
Like
thing,
anything.
and work is just work. So if you enjoy it, it's not that big a deal. But to have a guy like Steve be a backer or a helper in those moments is pretty amazing.
And did Ben used to work here?
Yeah, he worked at
Ben
Ford.
did.
Yeah,
How long was he here for?
I think he was with us for 5 years.
And then he left to start that with
He
you
left
guys,
to start
basically?
that, yeah.
And what about Aaron?
He was with us as well. He was with us probably the same amount of time. Yeah. He was actually with us a couple times, but
So now they're direct competition.
well, they are a little
But
bit.
Ben suggested I interview him, and Aaron said they have a competition, and he said last month Ben beat him or something.
They do have a competition, and it's been pretty tight, actually.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Huh?
and the funny part is they're best of friends, so
Yeah,
it's
it was
just like
healthy.
it's kind of fun poking each other, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
cool. And as long as they're both doing good, right?
yeah, for sure.
So the fun stuff,
Mm-hmm.
racing. Tell me about it.
Oh,
What kind of racing do you do?
So my younger brother, who is also in the car business in Nanaimo,
Okay.
has been riding dirt bikes his whole life, and he's done a bunch of really cool races down in Mexico, the Baja 1000, the Baja 500. And so whenever we get together, which isn't enough, we chat about all his experiences racing dirt bike in Baja.
Yeah.
And as we got talking about it one day and getting excited about it, we talked about maybe racing a side-by-side. And so I had a side-by-side, and we were going to take it to Mexico and race the Baja 500. And anyways, the side-by-side broke down, and we ended up not going. And then the more we started talking about it, we're like, well, we could buy one of these race cars, pretty inexpensive. And
Yeah.
so it was more just a thing to do with my brother, get some seat time with him, and So no, everything's good. We go down there.
So you guys race together in
We
like a
race
dune buggy
together.
style?
Yeah,
Baja
it's
racer?
a 2-wheel drive buggy. A
That's
Baja
cool.
buggy.
That would be fun. I've always loved stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My father-in-law comes down. My brother, his wife came down. We do a real family thing, and
Yeah.
we try and go down 3 or 4 times a year and do a race.
And a little funner and safer than being on a bike. Like, does he still do the motorbike racing?
He does. He doesn't race anymore. He just motos everywhere, and
Yeah.
so it's a lot safer. And the funny part is, the last race we had, he didn't want to tell me, but he wiped his bike out the weekend before,
no.
and he had 3 broken ribs. And so we raced, and he was.
He raced anyways with you.
He raced anyways, and we were in pretty bad shape. He probably wouldn't mind me telling the story, but he ended up rolling the car, and in an attempt to get out of the car, I had to step on him to get out of the car. And at this point, he hadn't told me he broke 3 ribs, and there I am stepping all over him to get out of the car. And all he could think of was, I guess I deserve that. I wiped my bike out before I went racing. So,
Oh, no. So you didn't win the race. Not that one.
we finished it. We flipped the car back over when we finished, but we didn't win. No.
Oh, yeah. Who was driving?
He was driving.
Yeah. Does he always drive or do you switch?
No, we switch.
Oh, yeah.
we
Yeah,
switch
that
all
would be
the time.
fair. You got to drive.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
How do you practice, though?
Well, that's the problem. Is we leave the car down there because it's too far to drive to Mexico every time we want to race. So we don't practice enough. We get in the car, we do some testing, we do a little bit of running around, but usually most of our seat time is in a race. So
Crazy.
It's not ideal, but
Have you ever done well in them? Like, have you won one?
yeah, the Baja 500, we came in 4th.
Yeah, cool.
Out of about 24 cars, I thought that was pretty good in our
And these are
class.
probably guys that got lots of money and are doing it all the time, or
And
it's all they
they're
do, or
pros.
whatever.
I mean, the guy who won, I think he was 19 years old, but he races every weekend.
Yeah,
Right, like that's his life. He's going to be a world class
racer,
rally car driver. Or something.
crazy.
But
There's probably money in it if you win all the time.
I think if you win all the time, yeah.
So back to the business side of things. Do you have any advice for someone who might be interested in starting a business with a partner or on their own, or anyone who's looking
Starting
to
a
get into sales?
business. Well, I can only speak from my experience. And my experience is I had a mentor. I had Steve, and I've never really had to do it without that. So
That's good.
for me, the doors were opened pretty easy because I had a mentor who could kind of walk me through it. So I think if you can find a mentor, all the power to you. And if not, I would try and find a friend who kind of knows what they're doing and try and be buddy with them because there's a lot of pitfalls.
It's tough, and if you can find a mentor that's going to not cost you a lot of money, that's great. I've had coaching since day one, and I wouldn't be where I am without it.
I'm the same way. I still go, and it's not even business coaching, but I still go see someone once a month, once every 2 weeks, just to clear my head and get stuff off my chest.
An unbiased decision on where your life's
Totally.
going or what to do in business
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
personal life too, right?
Yeah. So if you can find that person that has, you trust them first of all, and then have some experience in whatever business you're doing, I would,
Yeah.
highly recommend.
And what about someone getting into sales, like if they want to become a car salesman?
Come on down, see me. We'll.
Are you guys
we'll sign
always
you.
hiring?
You know what? Sales is funny because we're always hiring. There's just there's never enough salespeople. And it's funny because the guys who come in and typically say, "Oh, my friends tell me I could sell ice to an Eskimo," that routine. They're
Aren't the ones?
No, they are.
Oh,
They're
they
really
are?
good. Yeah, they're usually really, really good.
Yeah.
I think the only pitfall for a new sales guy is they think they're going to come in and just wait for people to come to them. And as you would know, it's about networking and finding clients before they just walk in.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So
Knocking on
doors.
I did that when I first started. I remember having my trench coat on. It was piss and rain, and people were like, "How can you do that?" I'm like, "Well, it's not minus 40. I'm not in coveralls and steel-toe boots and a hard hat covered in grease in a hole somewhere and a machine, right?
I
Like,
remember
this isn't bad."
at 19 years old, they pick a neighborhood and go knock on doors and introduce yourself. I'm just like, what?
I did. I hated it though.
It was tough.
It got me doing something when I had no business to distract me.
Right.
Just kept me busy,
business
right?
breeds business. Like you're just out there keeping busy, and all of a sudden you run into people, and that's
sure.
honestly how it is.
And call your leads.
Yeah.
So what was that? Long-term goals? Racing. Anything I should have asked that I didn't that you want to talk about at all?
I can't think of anything.
No?
You covered it. That was pretty good.
That's good. I don't know. I wrote these questions myself.
I thought that was pretty good.
No, I didn't. Tanya does all the questions.
Oh, she did all the hard work.
Yeah, she did all the hard work.
Oh, okay.
I get to show my pretty face. No.
Yeah.
So the last question, though, is anyone who you would recommend we interview?
I would have said Ben Coyle for sure, but you did that already.
We did. We can maybe do him again. We got like 4,000 views, so eventually maybe we'll roll back to Ben because he's a good one.
Who else should you interview? I don't know. I would think. Did you interview Paul Johnson?
Yeah, I did. Paul.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't think.
Anyone?
You know, you should interview is Mike Ball
Who's that?
at Nissan.
Oh, there we go.
He's
Okay.
one of our partners. I don't know if that works.
And
for
he's
you.
a manager or
He's a partner and a manager at Nissan. Yeah, and brilliant.
or
guy.
owner or whatever.
Yeah, he's a part owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Where's
guy.
Nissan's right there?
Nissan's just up the street.
That way,
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Ball.
Mike Ball. He'd be a great guy.
Mike Ball will be our next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.